I just came in and I saw that my back door had been broken in, so I went to the back and I could see footsteps in the snow, so I ran up to my room to see if my roommate was okay. I have two roommates.
Okay.
One of them's dead, and the other one is in her room and she's still alive and she needs help, but I ran because I didn't know if he was still in the house.
Mountain Police! Police Department!
On January 7th, 2018, police were drawn into a distressing situation when they received a 911 call at 9:25 a.m. from a frantic man describing a terrifying shooting that had taken place in his neighborhood. What seemed like a typical emergency call would soon unravel into something far more sinister and unexpected.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I live at that's the next door neighbor. She just came over in barracks and said somebody shot her roommate.
Okay. Did it just happen?
Yeah, she said it just happened. She needs an ambulance in place.
Okay.
So the roommate Ashley is the one that's still alive.
She is still alive?
She said she is, yeah.
Okay, tell her to take a deep breath, okay? I'm going to ask you some questions. Is Ashley bleeding seriously?
Was she bleeding for? Yes, she said yes.
Okay. All right. Do we know if Ashley's completely alert?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, she just saw it and she just ran.
Okay.
What's going on?
I stayed at a friend's last night, and I just came in and I saw that my back door had been broken in, so I went to the back and I could see footsteps in the snow, so I ran up to my room to see if my roommate was okay. I have two roommates.
Okay.
One of them's dead, and the other one is in her room and she's still alive and she needs help, but I ran because I didn't know if he was still in the house.
Okay, so you don't know if there's somebody else in the house?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Lauren looks like she's been in a while, but Ashley's asked me for help and I ran.
Okay. Is this door open?
Yes.
So we have two people upstairs. Is that what you're telling me? Okay.
Help, Ashley.
One was dead, one was alive. It was a daunting task for the police as they tried to determine who the primary target of the killer was, or if both women were the intended victims. With cameras capturing every move, officers slowly approached the house as their main priority was to save the other woman who was still alive. With guns drawn, they moved carefully as the killer could still be inside, waiting for his next victim. They now had to move forward towards the next room from where a woman's voice was still pleading for help. The danger wasn't over yet, and they had to be prepared for what was far more surprising.
Police!
Hey! I'm in here!
Hello? Police!
Please don't shoot me!
Who shot you?
No, please don't shoot!
I'm not gonna shoot you, ma'am.
My name's Ashley!
Ashley, what's going on? Who shot you?
Nobody!
Oh, what happened?
I don't know! Please come here!
Who did?
I am the police!
I'm the police, right here.
Where are you?
I'm right here. Can you see me?
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Where?
Can you tell me what happened?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know, Ashley? Okay,
No.
my name's Officer Robinson, okay?
What's your name?
My name's Officer Robinson.
Are you lying to me?
No.
Ashley Van Hemert was found in a critical state with multiple gunshots, but the officers had no idea that what they'd uncovered was just the tip of the iceberg.
What happened to you? Where are you bleeding from?
I'm not bleeding.
Okay, well, how do you have blood all over you?
Do I?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why I do. Show me your face then.
I'm right here. Can you see me?
No,
Can you see anything?
no,
No?
no.
Okay.
Please help me.
We're gonna help you, okay?
Please help me.
We've got the medical people coming. Where do you hurt?
I don't hurt anywhere.
You don't hurt anywhere?
No.
Grab around the front. No. Yeah, we got a blanket.
To piece together the events of what really happened the night before, the officers at the crime scene examined every nook and cranny of the house. However, they got their first clue when Audria led them to the back door of the house. She explained that when she returned that morning at 8:55 a.m., she found broken pieces of the door frame scattered on the floor. In Lauren's room, officers found 4 shell casings, and in Ashley's room, they discovered 5, which after testing confirmed they were from a .22 caliber gun. But the most integral clue was the bloody footprints left in the snow, tracing a path from the east side of the house around the north and leading to the back door. Fortunately, the footprints remained intact, which allowed investigators to take careful impressions for testing. These footprints held the potential to be the crucial breakthrough they desperately needed, but the process would take time. That night, Ashley had been with her boyfriend, Ralph Denis, who was the last person to visit and leave the house. The officers quickly became suspicious of Ralph's potential involvement in the murder. It was crucial to determine whether Lauren was mistakenly targeted instead of Ashley, or if the motive behind the attack was something else entirely. The police had tracked Ralph down to his residence to question him, but their goal was not to make him feel at ease, but rather to create a sense of panic.
So, Ralph, I'm a detective with the sheriff's office, and I did some of the processing of the scene at the house. And so I have some information and I have some questions about stuff that I saw there.
Understood.
So tell me, when did you guys start dating?
Roughly December last year, so a year and change ago.
Okay.
Just over a year.
Okay. And how do you characterize your relationship with her right now?
We've been attempting to break up with each other for several weeks, and pretty much this week we decided together that it was the right thing to do, is to not date each other anymore.
When was the last time you actually had contact with her?
With Ashley?
Yeah.
Last night when I dropped her off.
And that was after the Livingston trip?
After the Livingston trip, right around. We decided it was a little bit before 9 o'clock.
What time did you go to bed last night, Ralph?
Pretty much, I'm going to say, look at my phone, that's how I do everything, but I said goodnight to Ashley and I was up for a little while longer, maybe an hour.
So you're thinking around 11 o'clock when you went to bed?
Thinking so.
Did you go anywhere after?
I stayed.
Did you attempt to kill Ashley?
No.
Did you attempt to kill her roommate?
No.
Have you been in that house last night?
No. Do you believe me? Why not? You gotta ask.
Would you be willing to let us dump your phone to
Yes.
retrieve your GPS locations,
Yep.
that kind of stuff off of your phone?
Yep.
Ralph remained surprisingly cooperative throughout the questioning, and detectives also noticed that he wasn't trying to mislead them with any false statements or deceptive emotions. They also seized his phone to check his GPS location and took a DNA sample for testing, but when the results came back, they cleared all doubt about Ralph's involvement. After interviewing Ralph, the detectives shifted their focus to the second victim, Lauren, and began looking into her background to see if anyone could have a potential motive to harm her in any possible way. As they dug deeper, they discovered that Lauren was married to a man named Joseph Paul DeWise, and together they had a daughter. Joseph also had 2 children, Joe and Natalie, from a previous marriage. Initially, the blended family lived together, but tensions soon arose, and Lauren had already filed for divorce as she was unhappy with their marriage. So, in 2017, she finally moved to Idaho Street with Audria and Ashley. One piece of information that caught the detectives' attention was the reason for the couple's separation. Joseph had been consistently abusive towards Lauren, and it was well known among friends and family that she often had numerous bruises, cut marks, severe burns, and other signs of violence on her body. This disturbing history gave the detectives a solid reason to consider Joseph a suspect. Joe had stuck to his story and repeated the same account he'd given before. But the interrogators sensed something was off. Joe seemed nervous, as if he was hiding something. So the interrogator decided to take a different approach by offering Joe support and understanding to coax out the truth. Slowly, the walls Joe had built around himself began to crumble, revealing the chilling truth, which was his father's horrifying secret.
Okay. That's pretty accurate to what you told me yesterday. Which is unfortunate, because I don't think that's actually what happened. And I was hoping that today you and I could break through that and we could talk about what actually happened. Because if I can't get you to be honest with me, I can't help you. And I don't believe that you're being completely truthful with me. And I don't know exactly why, but I'm not willing to give up on you. I think that we can get through it. Okay? I know that this is really hard for you to sit here. I know it. I can see the weight on you. And the only way I can help is if you and I are honest with each other. I can't help. I can't do anything if you and I aren't honest with each other in here. Okay?
Please, son, please.
Okay. Was it just your dad?
Come on, son.
Did he tell you what it does? And then what did he tell you?
I love you. I didn't think. I just love you, dear Dad. It's bad. I just Stanley. I love you.
You knew what he was going to do.
I did. I was stopped. Like, no, Dad, you can't do that. You're going to lose you. You can't do that. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. Stopped him. I would have stopped him. Stopped him.
Was it you or him? Tell me.
Listen.
It was pain when he finally got to that point of releasing, and he whispered the answer the first time. Just being with him in that moment. Because it was hard.
Joyce. I was afraid for my sisters.
I know you were.
On the evening of January 6th, Joseph suddenly asked his son to get ready because they were going out. As they drove, Joe realized they were heading to Belgrade and started to feel uneasy as his stepmother lived there on Idaho Street. His dad had also told him to leave his phone on his bed, which struck him as odd. When Joseph parked the car a few houses down from Lauren's, Joe's bad feeling intensified. It was around midnight when Joseph pulled a small caliber semi-automatic pistol from his waistband. He told Joe that if he did as instructed, everything would be okay. Joseph handed Joe a pair of plastic gloves and a mask, putting on his own. They walked silently to the back of the house where Lauren lived. Wearing work boots, they paused briefly on the back deck before Joseph kicked in the door. After checking all the rooms downstairs, he headed upstairs, with Joe following closely behind. Joseph held the pistol in his right hand as he opened the bedroom door, turned on the light, and shot Ashley multiple times within a matter of seconds. Then he opened another bedroom door without turning on the light, and Joe heard a terrified gasp followed by more gunshots. They immediately rushed back to the car and left the scene. Joseph drove to a town pump, tucking the pistol into his waistband before heading inside, while Joe remained in the car, feeling nauseous and trying to steady his breathing as soon Joseph returned with a 6-pack of beer and they drove home. Once they returned home, Joseph dumped the boots which could link him to the crime. He also ordered Joe to dispose of some old smoke grenades and .22 ammunition at Bozeman Pond Park, which the detectives later retrieved. That night, Joseph coached his son on what to say about the night's events. He threatened Joe, warning him not to incriminate him and to stick to the story that they'd been home all evening watching television. Terrified for his sister, whom Joseph had always abused, Joe obeyed as he feared the dire consequences if he didn't. At the end of the trial, it didn't take long for the jury to reach a verdict.
Joseph Collins DeWise, count 1, to the charge of deliberate homicide of Lauren DeWise, guilty.
Joseph was sentenced to 220 years in prison for the murder of Lauren and the attempted homicide of Ashley without the possibility of parole.
You know, I think in any other case, you would be absolutely ecstatic and gratified, and this is the moment we've been looking for. Given the circumstances of this case, it was absolutely horrifying and heartbreaking. It's tragic, and that any father would ever subject his son to that, it makes you angry, and probably something that I'll never forget.
That one horrifying night forever changed the lives of everyone involved, leaving scars that would never fully heal. Especially Ashley, the surviving victim, was left with a profound impact both physically and emotionally.
Of course, I had questions of, well, why did it have to happen to me as well? Like, why did I have to get shot? But I've learned through the process that it's not my responsibility to figure out all of the whys. It's my responsibility to just trust in God that no matter what happens, He is still by my side and I will still prevail through anything. There's one of my favorite lines now that I really go by is, what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good.
What are your thoughts on this case? Did Joseph kill Lauren only because he doubted Lauren's loyalty towards him? Or were there more hidden aspects to his story? We'd love to hear from you. If there's a case you'd like us to cover, don't hesitate to drop your recommendations in the comment section below. Until next time, stay safe and keep your eyes peeled for the next mystery to unfold.